Our next topic of this committee member training video series is committee member expectations. In order for you to be an effective committee member, it's important for you to have a clear understanding of the expectations and responsibilities of committee members. As with any new responsibility, there's a learning curve involved with committee service. A key goal of this committee member training video is to help you to understand your role as a committee member and begin contributing to the work of your committee as soon as possible after your appointment. One of the questions that new or potential committee members often ask is, what is the time commitment required to serve on this committee? The time commitment varies for each committee. However, all committee members should expect to attend one or more in-person meetings each year and also participate on several teleconferences. Teleconferences for governance committees are generally scheduled throughout the year in the months when the committee is not meeting in person. Teleconferences for sport committees are generally concentrated during their respective sport season to conduct rankings and select teams and sites. Staff liaisons also may ask committee members to provide feedback regarding various issues via email. A committee timeline is helpful to identify the dates and times throughout the year that committee members will be expected to travel to meetings or championships, or to participate on teleconferences, video conferences, webinars, orientation sessions, etc. The committee timeline should include all key dates and deadlines that relate to the business of the committee. The timeline is usually included in the committee operations manual provided to all committee members at the beginning of the academic year. For many committees, the staff liaison and committee chair conduct a new committee member orientation session. This may be a formal session conducted in conjunction with your first in-person meeting or by teleconference, and it may be with the full committee or only with new committee members. The orientation session will provide an overview of how the committee conducts its business and will outline committee protocols and logistics, such as the meeting room setup for in-person meetings and the schedule and flow of meetings and teleconferences. Committee members are expected to review all committee materials carefully prior to the meeting and be prepared to discuss key issues. As a general rule, the agendas, supplements, and other committee materials will be posted on the respective committee's collaboration zone at least 1 week prior to each meeting. For some agenda items, it may be helpful for you to solicit feedback from other individuals, for example, members of your conference, prior to committee meetings and teleconferences to ensure that you're aware of key issues and concerns. Confidentiality is essential for a committee to function effectively. In order to fully discuss issues and make informed decisions, all committee members must be able to voice their opinions honestly and candidly in an environment of trust, without fear that their specific comments or votes will be disclosed to others outside of the committee. The committee report written after the meeting will summarize all actions taken by the committee without identifying the position of individual committee members. The NCAA president and the chair of the NCAA Board of Governors are the only individuals authorized to speak on behalf of the association unless they specifically designate another individual as a speaking agent on a particular issue. Committee chairs are designated as speaking agents of their committees regarding issues within their committee's jurisdiction on which there is consensus. Committee members may occasionally receive questions, requests, or concerns regarding the work of the committee. As a general rule, you should forward these to the committee chair in order for him or her to respond on behalf of the committee. Within the governance structure, committee members must carefully balance their responsibilities to the respective institutions and/or conferences with the obligation to advance the interests of the association, the division, or the sport, and also enhance the student-athlete experience. Committee integrity is critical to the decision-making process. You must disclose any conflict or potential conflict between your personal, professional, institutional, conference, and business interests and the interests of the association that may affect or otherwise threaten that credibility. You will not be permitted to participate in any discussion or vote that might result in a financial or other special benefit to you or any entity with which you are associated. The staff liaison and committee chair are expected to be familiar with and follow Robert's Rules of Order, during all committee meetings and teleconferences to ensure that the committee's legislative business and related policy discussions are conducted according to established parliamentary procedures. Your committee staff liaison is responsible for assisting the committee chair with these issues. Regarding meeting attire for committee meetings held at the NCAA National Office during business hours, business casual attire is appropriate. For example, khaki pants and a polo shirt. You may wear casual attire for any meetings that take place on the weekends. Prior to traveling to meetings or championships that include banquets or social functions, you should confirm with your staff liaison the appropriate attire for the event. Dressy or business attire is often the dress code for council meetings, convention meetings, or a championship banquet. Based on feedback and experiences of past members of Division III governance and sport committees, we'd like to offer 7 tips that will help you to have a successful committee service experience. Tip number 1, review the committee operations manual. Your staff liaison will provide all committee members a committee operations manual that includes key committee information such as a roster with cell phone numbers, a timeline, policies and procedures, travel policies, and a chart of call-in numbers, access codes, internet links, passwords, etc. Review the manual carefully to ensure that you fully understand what is expected of you as a committee member. Keep your password for the committee collaboration zone handy so that you can easily access committee materials. Tip number 2, read reports from previous committee meetings or teleconferences. One of the best ways for a new committee member to get up to speed on the business of the committee and be prepared to participate and contribute immediately is to read reports from previous committee meetings and teleconferences. All reports from each committee's in-person meetings, teleconferences, and actions confirmed via email are posted on ncaa.org. In addition, news articles summarizing committee actions are often posted on ncaa.org following in-person meetings. These articles provide helpful insights regarding the key issues discussed and actions taken by the committee. Tip number 3, work with your assigned committee mentor. Some committees have adopted the policy of assigning a veteran committee member to serve as a mentor for a new committee member. New committee members have indicated that it's helpful to have a fellow committee member as a mentor and resource throughout the year. As an example, a new committee member of a sport committee may feel more comfortable conducting the initial call with his or her regional advisory committee after listening in on his mentor's initial regional advisory committee teleconference. If you are not assigned a mentor, reach out to a returning committee member to seek his or her advice and suggestions regarding service on the committee. Tip number 4, prepare for meetings and teleconferences. The effectiveness of committee meetings and teleconferences is directly impacted by the level of preparation of the committee members. Your staff liaison will post the agenda and supplements on the committee collaboration zone at least 1 week prior to meetings and several days prior to teleconferences in order for committee members to review the materials and be fully prepared to discuss and take action on agenda items. Meeting supplements may be quite lengthy, and it may take you several days to review the materials rather than reading the materials while traveling to the meeting site. You should be aware that agenda items may not necessarily be addressed during the meeting in the order they're listed on the agenda. You should be prepared to discuss any agenda item at any time during the meeting. In addition, as a general rule, hard copies of meeting materials are not provided on site. You will need to bring your laptop, iPad, or tablet to meetings to access the meeting materials on the committee collaboration zone. Some committee members also find it helpful to prepare a notebook with key meeting supplements to bring with them to meetings. Tip number 5, know the technology requirements for your committee. As soon as possible after you are appointed to serve on a committee, contact your staff liaison to confirm the technology used by the committee. It is crucial that you are able to access the committee collaboration zone and any software programs used by the committee. For example, the bracketing system used by many sport committees. Confirm in advance that assigned teleconference numbers and access codes work properly. and that you are able to connect to webinars and video conferences if applicable. Contact your IT department to resolve any access issues promptly. Check whether emails from your staff liaison or other committee members go to your junk or spam folder. Inform your staff liaison of the best way for him or her to contact you directly, by email, office phone, cell phone, or text message. Tip number 6, follow meeting and teleconference etiquette. When you receive the committee operations manual, review the committee timeline and add all key committee dates and times to your electronic and/or paper calendar. Committee members are expected to participate for the duration of all in-person meetings and teleconferences. Notify your staff liaison promptly if you have any schedule conflicts that will prevent or limit your participation in a meeting or on a teleconference, as this may necessitate adjusting the order that agenda items are addressed so that there is a quorum or minimum number of committee members present to vote on proposed action items. For in-person meetings, you should schedule your flights so that you will have adequate time to travel from the airport to the NCA National Office or other meeting location. Pick up your guest badge at the security desk, find the meeting room, and confirm that you're able to access the internet and the committee collaboration zone prior to the scheduled start time of the meeting. You should schedule your return flight so that you do not disrupt the meeting by leaving early to meet your airport shuttle. For teleconferences, ensure that you have the call-in number and access code prior to the call and access the call promptly at the scheduled time. Be cognizant of background noise. For example, static from cell phones, speakerphones, or headsets, typing on keyboards, outside conversations, children and/or pets that may be disruptive to call participants. It's preferable that you mute your phone during the call when you are not speaking. Tip number 7, address personnel issues. Committees are composed of diverse individuals with a variety of personalities, leadership styles, and communication skills. The same is true for NCA staff liaisons. At times, some of these traits may negatively affect the work of the committee or the committee experience of one or more individuals. If you have concerns regarding another committee member, contact the committee chair or the staff liaison to confidentially discuss the concerns. Similarly, contact the staff liaison to discuss any concerns about the committee chair, and contact the chair to discuss any concerns about the staff liaison. Raise concerns sooner rather than later to address and hopefully resolve the issue promptly, instead of waiting until the end of the year to provide feedback.